Previously, we created a program that was able to construct its own sentences using something similar to the technology that makes predictive text possible. One of the things you may have noticed, however, is that the sentences were often incomplete, or they contained more than a few grammar mistakes. So how could we improve the computer's brain so that the sentences it creates are more correct? There are a lot of ways that we could do this, but one simple way is to increase the amount of information surrounding each word the computer learns to use. For example, in the current version of our program, the computer assumes a word can always follow another word if it happens even once in a training, regardless of the context in which it was used. But if we increased the number of preceding words from 1 to 2, we would increase the contextual information about when that word can be used. To change the computer's brain, we'll have to change the function called readData. And specifically, we'll have to change it so that it looks at words 3 at a time rather than 2 at a time. So I'm going to create two variables to represent the two previous words, and I'll keep the one I already have for the next word. And then the key that will be stored will be the two preceding words appended together, rather than just one previous word. So let's assign a variable to be previous 1 plus a space plus previous 2, and that will be the key that gets stored. Then we need to advance two variables in the end instead of one. Previous 1 will have the value that previous 2 currently holds, and previous 2 will have the value that next currently holds. Now that we changed the way that the computer's brain stores information, we need to change the way that the computer's brain thinks when it constructs a sentence. So for that, we're going to have to update the function letComputerWriteEssay. First, we need to now ask for two starting words instead of one, and our current word will also technically be two words. So let's change the question and also rename the variables to reflect that. But we don't need to change next word at all because it's still just going to be one word. When we update current words to be ready for the next iteration, now it needs to lose its first word and append on the next one. For example, if current words holds the value I have and next holds the value for the next iteration, current words should hold the value have and next should hold the value dog. So to create the have from I have and let's assume we have a variable called previous2, which in this case would hold the have part of I have. We append it to the next variable, and we're good to go there on out. But before that code, we'll need to actually create the variable previous2, and that will be a substring of current word, starting right after the space character. And here's the code for that. We're almost there. We just need to create one more variable. And of course, it's called index of space. So let's declare that. And we can get that index value by calling a function on the string called index of and passing in the space character as a string. Here's what that code looks like. And we've finished the program. So let's run it in its completed form with that same Pride and Prejudice file and view some text produced by the artificial intelligence that we've just created.
It is very true, said Elizabeth, but how could you think him very well? She is almost 23. Lord, how ashamed I should resolve to quit Netherfield. I should be so silly as to assure you it is not the smallest degree of indulgence, though, at the door, the certain evils of such a history of his house as her husband which a disagreeable partner for a few words Miss Bingley could not have. Here again I shall speak in the same style, and the beautiful expression of heartfelt delight, diffused over his face, became him, but, though she could not have